Yeah, that's right, Michelle. Well, SPD does say that woman is 37 years old, and several neighbors I spoke with say she actually didn't even live here. Instead, she was staying with a friend for quite some time. Now, that building manager also did say she was known to cause a lot of problems in the building, like trying to break in people's units.
I just did the best I could as a dog lover. Hurting an animal doesn't come easy to me.
Kendall Anderton was coming out of the elevator into the courtyard of these apartments in Forest Hill where she lives. She says the second she got out, 3 pit bulls charged at her.
I just did my best to try to kick them off of me and get myself in that elevator and get that door closed as quickly as I could.
She had to go to the emergency room and now has bruises and cuts.
Over my arms, both arms, couple bites on my legs.
SPD says the dogs were let loose by a 37-year-old woman who broke into the owner's unit. Anderton has seen her before.
She's been squatting in one of the units in our building.
The pit bulls eventually went back in, but then got out again, this time attacking the building manager. Christine Pepe lives here too and saw it happen.
We were screaming for everybody to help. There's men in this building, but nobody came out to help them.
He was able to get the dogs out of the building and into the street. The woman went outside too after he refused to let the dogs back in. The pit bulls then tried to attack another dog before the manager got his gun and fired shots at them. That's when the woman was hit near her collarbone. While the building manager was arrested for reckless endangerment, Anderton feels he was defending not only himself, but others living at the apartment.
I think he 100% did the right thing to protect him in that situation.
New video shows Renton Police struggling to detain several people. This is after a gun battle, and it happened right outside an event hall in Renton, and it ended with 1 man dead. Several others here are injured tonight. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Michelle Esteban. Tonight, police still looking for that shooter. KOMO's Lynnwood joins us live from the scene of the shooting in downtown Renton. And Lynnwood, what a scary scene here.
It really was, from what residents were telling us. Police are telling us that a 32-year-old Tacoma man is dead, and at least 6 others are injured. Neighbors we talked to described a chaotic scene outside of this event space in downtown Renton near 2nd and Logan, with residents here jolted awake by gunfire.
Sleeping, and all of a sudden I hear pop, 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 pop.
Surveillance video from a nearby business shows the confused crowd spilling out into the street just before 1 a.m. early Saturday morning as the shooting started.
And all of a sudden I hear a bunch of shooting, it sounded like a bomb was going off.
Police say this party at the Musicians Hall in downtown Renton turned deadly.
4 or 5 handguns that emptied out completely, including that shotgun that emptied out completely.
Witnesses say they heard arguing in the parking lot, then a rapid exchange of gunfire.
I could swear somebody made sure whoever was shot. It was really, really eerie.
When the bullets stopped flying, several people were injured, and neighbors say they saw people trying to resuscitate 1 man in the parking lot.
And he said that there was actually a guy laying beside his window on the north side of the house, moaning, but he didn't stay there long.
Police responded almost immediately to break up the fighting, and some people were detained on scene. But police say they have not made any arrests yet.
There was just a bunch of people running around trying to get out of here, trying to get in their cars and get out of here.
First responders treated several people on scene and tried to get the agitated crowd under control. So far, Renton Police are still trying to determine what caused the argument and have not released any suspect information about who they're looking for.
New surveillance video just into our newsroom tonight shows that violent pot shop robbery in Lynnwood we brought you last night as breaking news here. In the video, you can clearly see 5 armed suspects walked into Euphorium with guns drawn, ski masks on. Soon after, you see the suspects hit one of the workers with a handgun. Another suspect hits a security guard with a folding pistol caliber rifle. The manager tells us the thieves stole cash and product before taking off through the back door. Now, police tell KOMO the suspects were chased by officers and ended up in Seattle's Green Lake neighborhood, where they ditched the car and ran. Only 1 person was arrested.
Well, Preston, before we begin with that, a few minutes ago, the Tacoma Police Department did tweet out they've arrested another person, a 19-year-old man in connection to organized street races here in the Tacoma area. Now, as far as that arrest that happened Thursday, that person is also a 19-year-old man who the Tacoma Police Department and several other law enforcement agencies believe organized illegal street racing in this area for the last few months. Now, I also spoke to the president of a group that focuses on safety here in Pierce County. He does say he is happy with the arrest, but eventually wants to see a stop to the illegal street racing. Cars spinning at full throttle. Street racing, a dangerous sight many communities have had to deal with.
I think it's been an issue not just in Tacoma, but throughout the region for over a year.
On Thursday, Tacoma Police, along with 3 other agencies, arrested a 19-year-old man in Algona who they believe is behind races like these in both King and Pierce County. While the arrest doesn't mean street racing is coming to an end, law enforcement feels we could see fewer of them.
One arrest can mean that potentially numerous street racing events don't occur.
Brett Johnson is one person hoping so. He's one of the owners of this custom furniture shop called Wayne and Flitch here on East 72nd Street. Just a block away, he says East McKinley Avenue at times can be what he calls a street racing superhighway.
We have 4,000-pound eco blocks. One of them was hit by a car that was going so fast that it knocked a 4,000-pound block about 20 feet.
Johnson's also the president of Tacoma Pierce Safe, a group dedicated to improving safety throughout the county, and putting a stop to street racing is a priority. He's glad the arrest was made and says he's not seeing as many street races lately. At the same time, though, feels there's still ways to go.
To get this flat out decreased and gone, we need to get all these different components addressed.
Police are still trying to figure out how and why the shooting happened here. And this afternoon, we've learned from friends and family that the 68-year-old man killed was Bob Jensen of Georgetown.
There's so many questions.
So many questions about a shooting that police are calling a road rage incident. It happened on 4th Avenue South near Costco Thursday morning. A 68-year-old man was shot in the stomach and later died at the hospital. The 38-year-old driver who shot him, according to police, pulled over, called 911, and stayed to answer questions before being released.
I was sitting at my desk and I heard a pop.
Michael Fleming, the owner of Carpet Liquidators, heard the commotion.
It happened up the street where it merges to one lane, and they got into a little confrontation at that point, got to this stoplight. The older man who got shot got out of his vehicle. That's when he got shot. But then he was able to get back in his truck and pull off to the side.
Friends and family say the man shot was Bob Jensen.
Bob Jensen was the kindest, most generous person you can imagine, and he is a classic example of they never judge a book by the cover, because he did look pretty gruff. You know, he had a pretty rough exterior.
According to friends, Jensen was a volunteer at the Kent Hydroplane Museum, a volunteer at Seafair, and a ski patrol volunteer. According to police, Jensen did not have a gun. Right now, police will not say why the driver who fired the gun was not arrested.
The suspect stayed on the scene. Now, so he obviously has a story to tell.
Jim Fudos with Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound.
Don't let somebody else's bad day, bad judgment ruin yours. Just stay away from the confrontation as best as you can. And it's looking like there's more to the story that the police know about, and the suspect obviously had a story to tell that might have thrown some reasonable doubt into arresting him.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.